The next thing that contributes to overall stress levels and as a result keeps people overweight is overwhelm. Now, inevitably in today's society, there's a lot of people out there with a great deal of responsibility, but it's interesting how many people we come across who say things like, you just don't know what it's like for me, I've got so much going on right now. But interestingly, we can always find examples of other people who have similar responsibilities and experience significantly less stress, and even people who produce even more output than you do with less stress. Now, if you think, let's take somebody else's brain, someone like a Sarah Blakely or a Richard Branson or an Anita Roddick. We took their brain and put it in your body. Do you think they could produce greater results and output with significantly less stress? Keeping everything else the same, your body, your lifestyle, your responsibilities, everything, do you think they could do more with less stress? Of course they could. So what's the difference? The difference is how they run their brain. So in order to experience overwhelm, one of the elements of that strategy, because it is a strategy, is to chunk down to a really small level of detail. So as an example, somebody who goes to the gym consistently after work says, after work, I'm going to the gym. And that's what they do. Somebody who never seems to have enough time thinks of going to the gym after work, and they think, oh yeah, but I've got to prepare all my stuff the night before, I've got to make my shake, I've got to pack all my clothes, and then after work I've got to drive to the gym, it takes ages, and I might get caught in traffic, and then I've got to find a parking spot and walk all the way to the gym, sometimes I have to park even further away, then I've got to buzz my way in and find a locker, I've got to get changed, then I've got to start my warm-up before I can even start my workout. Often the bits of equipment I want to be using are busy, and I've got to figure out something else. I've got, it's just too much on right now. I'll just stay at home and order a pizza. So that's chunking down to a really small level of detail where you make one thing 100 things, and inevitably it makes you feel significantly more overwhelmed. The next thing people do in order to make themselves feel overwhelmed is just managing their time really poorly and with low levels of productivity. And there are a whole bunch of things here, but I'll give you some quick tips of things that you need to do if you want to be a lot more productive with your time. One is you need to prioritize. A lot of people are doing the non-urgent tasks at the start of their day, and they're saying things like, oh, I can't have any clear headspace until I've cleaned the entire apartment and done all of my laundry and so on. And it's basically just a procrastinating strategy, but it makes you feel more overwhelmed. So you need to be able to identify, okay, what are the big, most important tasks that are going to move me forwards in my life, and schedule those at the earliest possible point in your day as possible. You also need to make sure that you schedule a time at the end of the day where you absolutely cut off from all work-related tasks, and that is now recreation time. So before you do that, you need to brain dump anything that's currently still in your mind, work-related thoughts, unfinished business, any problems or issues or things that need to be done the next day, whatever it is. Get it all down on paper, brain dump it, and then put your mind into this is now recreation time and purely recovery and enjoying yourself and being in the moment. Next, you need to make sure that you schedule your time in blocks of focused time. A lot of people are trying to multitask and they're just focusing on random bits off their to-do list as and when it feels like those things are screaming the loudest. And they're doing so in a massively disorganized way, but they're also distracting themselves all the time. So you need to be focused in the moment doing just that one thing. No phones, no social media, no email. All you're doing is that one task from start to finish. Then at the end of that block, you need to schedule recovery, and it might even just be a short break. It might be 5, 10, 15 minutes, but it's complete brain off time. No more work or work related activities in that moment. And then the final thing I want to mention as part of this brief series is manage your own expectations. So if you're getting to the end of the day and you've still got loads of things left on your to-do list, and you are even incorporating these better techniques for productivity, and you're getting better and better at managing your time, but you're still ending up with loads of things at the end of the day, you're not being realistic. And leaving those things on your to-do list is only going to make you feel overwhelmed, because you're not going to get them done anyway. So why put them on your list? So you need to make sure that you're much more realistic with what you expect from yourself in terms of output on a daily basis. So those are just a few things to get you started with productivity. Most people aren't doing those things, and certainly not doing all of those things. There's a whole bunch of other things we could add to that list as well, but those are some of the big ones that you need to get you started. Now, something else that's going to massively contribute to the degree of overwhelm that you experience is your ability to say no. So this is related to confidence. A lot of people don't have the confidence, or they've learnt to be a people pleaser. And so they constantly saying yes to people and taking on other tasks. And this is done partly out of fear. They're worried of what other people are going to think of them. They're worried about being judged. They're worried about upsetting people. But also, it's often done from a place of significance as well, because I'm the person who can get everything done, and they derive this sense of pleasure and sense of importance from being the go-to person. But as a result, they end up taking on everybody else's stuff. Everybody just dumps their excess workload on you, and you end up doing it all, and you feel massively overwhelmed and so on. So that's just another part of many people's strategy for keeping themselves overwhelmed. So if you want to make a change in this area, if you want to improve your fat loss results by bringing your stress levels down, by reducing your level of overwhelm, then you may need to make very clear decisions that you are going to refuse to allow yourself to indulge in feeling overwhelmed, because it is very much something that you are doing to yourself. It's not something that's happening to you. The moment that you recognize that is the moment that you take all of your power back, and you can start making decisions to make your life better.